Curious how your food choices could affect your blood pressure? Ever considered which foods might worsen hypertension? In this video, we'll explore 10 surprising foods to avoid if you have high blood pressure. Stay tuned for essential insights to lead a healthier life. Hit subscribe now. Number 1. Red meat. Red meat is high in saturated fats, and this is a blood pressure concern and/or cardiovascular health. Recent studies show that meat eaters who have red meat as a part of their frequent diet have higher levels of blood pressure and elevated cardiovascular risks. Research shows that the people consuming red meat in large amounts have about 15 to 20% chance of suffering from hypertension as opposed to those who are moderate in their consumption or eat alternative lean meat options. Red meat having saturated fat can be responsible for tissue plaques in the arteries, thus increasing the chance of heart disease and stroke. Consequently, restriction of meat consumption, particularly red meats, and the replacement of the same with lean protein sources can be very helpful in maintenance of blood pressure within deemed limits and cardiovascular risk reduction. Number 2. Salt. An excessive salt intake is a major factor in developing high blood pressure. The main offenders are processed foods and canned soups, as these often contain a high salt content. The data demonstrates that an average American consumes 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day, which is much more than the recommended limit of 2,300 milligrams for most adults and 1,500 milligrams for those who have hypertension or are at risk. Up to 800 milligrams of sodium can be contained in one serving of canned soup. This considerably increases the blood pressure. Number 3. Processed meats. Processed meats such as bacon, sausages, and also deli meats are very well known for its high sodium and also unhealthy fat. Based on the study, one serving of processed meat can contain up to 400 milligrams of sodium. That is a large portion of the daily recommended sodium for the individuals with high blood pressure. Besides, these meats are often very rich in saturated fats that can increase the cholesterol levels and raise the risk of heart disease. People who take the processed meats often are at a very high risk of hypertension and also heart diseases. Number 4. Alcohol. Moderate drinking may offer cardiovascular protection, but overindulgence has a very negative effect on the blood pressure and may also be very harmful to cardiovascular health. Reportedly, moderate alcohol consumption, interpreted as 1 daily drink for women and 2 daily drinks for men, might be related to the reduced risk of the heart disease. Nonetheless, it might be very dangerous if these limits get exceeded. That may cause a rise in the blood pressure and heart-related problems. Excess drinking of alcohol can lead to the direct damage to the heart and its vessels, and it can cause cardiomyopathy and arrhythmias. Number 5. Fast food. Especially known for their high levels of unhealthy fats, sodium, and also calories, burgers and fries in the fast food places are among the foods that put your cardiovascular health at the greatest risk. Research shows that one fast food meal may include much more than half of the recommended daily calories for the adults, as well as an impressive quantity of saturated and trans fats. Fasting food consumption has been associated to an increased risk of hypertension and also obesity. Furthermore, fast food is usually very devoid of the significant nutrients that are very important, such as fiber, vitamins, and minerals, which worsens the health problems. Number 6. Canned vegetables. Canned vegetables are very useful, especially when people lead a busy lifestyle, but usually contain high sodium since salt is added for preservation. The excessive sodium can worsen the high blood pressure, which plays a role in the development of cardiovascular disease, along with other physical issues. Fresh or frozen produce is a much better option because it does not contain too much salt during processing stage, which results in a relatively natural state of nutrients. Fresh fruits and vegetables are the great providers of vivid tastes and a wider range of minerals, whereas most of the canned ones have a lower level of nutrients. While frozen vegetables generally are flash frozen at the time they are at their freshest, this led to maintaining their nutritional quality. Weaving in veggies that are either fresh or frozen instead helps to better regulate blood pressure and also maintain good health and vitality. Number 7. Excessively spicy foods. Even the spices that are good for our health can be dangerous, though, if the food is very spicy, especially for people with high blood pressure. Hot food may cause a temporary increase in the blood pressure because of a reaction between capsaicin, the compound that offers the hot food the heat sensation, and the body. Modern research concludes that capsaicin may provoke the secretions of stress hormones and, due to this, blood pressure may increase in the most sensitive people. Besides, the hot foods are likely to aggravate heartburn and the gastrointestinal concerns, hence, worsening the diseases. People living with hypertension should be careful of over-consuming extremely spicy foods. Number 8. Sugar-sweetened beverages. Sugary drinks, for example, soda, energy drinks, and sweetened fruit drinks, possess prominent health risks caused by the high straw sugar levels contained in them, although consuming these beverages aids weight gain and obesity, both of which are known risk factors of hypertension. The long-term chronic conditions could be developed as a result of drinking sugary drinks. Blood pressure could increase and the hypertension incidence could occur. One single bottle of soda could contain as many as 39 grams of sugar, which is more than the recommended limit. Number 9. Packaged snacks. The packaged snacks like chips and pretzels are loaded with trans fats, not healthy, and sodium, all of which are not good for the heart. Vegetable oils and fats capable of turning to partially hydrogenated are the main source of trans fats, which are found in processed snacks. They can increase bad LDL cholesterol and decrease good HDL cholesterol so that the risk of heart disease and stroke becomes very high. Furthermore, sodium content in these snacks is very high and it results in high blood pressure levels which worsen any hypertensive and cardiovascular conditions. Several research works propose that some snack packs contain almost 20% of the sodium that one should consume on a daily basis in a single serving. Number 10. Full-fat dairy products. Dairy products such as whole milk, cheese, and cream comprise of saturated fats, which can contribute to higher cholesterol levels and blood pressure. Data show that saturated fats increase the levels of bad LDL cholesterol, which circulates in the blood and thus contributes to arterial plaque accumulation and the risk of heart diseases. On the other hand, high concentration of saturated fats in full-fat dairy products are associated with high levels of blood pressure as well, which makes the risk of cardiovascular problems even higher. Number 11. Pickles and pickled foods. Pickles and pickled veggies as well as condiments are loaded with salt, and so their consumption is harmful to the general health of people who have high blood pressure. Preservation of foods in brine requires immersion of foods in a liquid, brine, which contains high concentrations of salt. In turn, foods preserved in salt can become the main source of sodium, which can cause hypertension to worsen and increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases. A single pickle serving has a huge part of the daily sodium intake recommended, which should be a double hint to the hypertensive people. Those who have problems with high blood pressure should start adopting a diet that is lower in sodium, saturated fats, and processed foods. By choosing foods consciously and by avoiding those unfavorable food types, people will be able to take an active part in management of their blood pressure, as well as better health of their circulatory systems.